Okay, so I know I left y'all at kind of a cliffhanger as to what I was doing to hit the reset button or to get a soft restart. But I actually, now, one, I will tell you, one, if you can see, I have plenty of weight to lose. Two, I have no other health contraindications. I'm not diabetic. I'm not heart problems. I don't have any history of those sort of things, and I don't have them. So, and I consulted with my physician ahead of time to plan out whether I was going to do this. But I needed a jump start, y'all. I needed a kick start to kind of hit the reset button on things, and two, to get me to a place where you can fight the mental fight of trying to start to lose weight and get healthier and get into a healthier mindset, but there are chemicals and things that are trends based on the background that you have and what you have done to your body up to that point that can basically make it like if you were going out and just trying to walk a loop around a track somewhere, it'd be like you decide to pick up a couple of 50-pound sacks of grain or something. Okay, and so I was like, I don't need the extra baggage mentally as far as the chemicals and the hormones and things within my body fighting against me as well. And so I opted to do something that I've never really done for quite that long. Other people might be, that's not very long at all. But, I had grandiose dreams going in, but I did a water, primarily only fast. I will say for my true blue water fan, fasting fans out there and friends out there, no, I did not go whole hog with no unsweetened coffee or tea. I did those things so it wouldn't be a true just water fast as some people in some groups that I know of do, but it was what I needed because I knew I also hadn't prepared in the way of cutting off caffeine, and I knew that the overhead of taking the hit from caffeineism and the headaches that come with that was going to be a little too much to bear. So I would just have maybe a morning cup of black coffee, and maybe around lunchtime I might have an unsweet tea. And so it was still 0 calories every day, no sugar or sugar substitutes, and none of that. And I still had a little bit of a fasting headache and such, but I wanted to bring you here because on my morning walk this morning I saw this, and we can get down in here close so it's more visible. But so they're working on the road by my house. They've come through with a grader and scraped up the old road layers, and I saw this aggregate of these large rocks. I remember when that used to be the road back when we kind of first came here to Delhi, and then they started doing these layers where they would just kind of spray some tar and put a bunch of garden pea or sweet pea sized gravel on there and stick it down, and then they started doing this sort of thing. But based on what they're doing over there next, they're going to do a nice smooth layer of asphalt, but they've torn down the old roadway. Well, that's kind of what I was trying to do, was just tear off the surface layers that are loose and broken up and do this water fast. It was quasi for weight loss. It was quasi spiritual because my sons had gone off to centrifuge this past week, and I wanted to do something to deepen as I did the devotions and things to connect with them being possibly on a spiritual mountaintop experience while they were gone. And so I did it. I'm gonna have a seat here for a second because I've been walking all this morning, and I nicely cleaned out my car yesterday morning, which was one of the other things that helped encourage me to decide to, you know what, I probably need to stop this thing. So I've been doing the water only, and yesterday was going on the 4th day. It would have been 96 hours at about 9 o'clock that night. That had been no calories, mostly water. And I came out here and I was cleaning my car. And when I was cleaning my car, I started with the interior because that was the thing that needed it most. I haven't done anything hardly to this car since I got it from my wife. Go on, moth. When we traded in my old commute back and forth to work job. And so when I inherited kind of this one, as she got a new one for the family, I just didn't get to go through it with a fine-tooth comb. I just didn't have the time, and I finally, this was my last good chance. I'm gonna go for it. So I intended on doing the whole thing, kind of detailing it, washing it and everything. But as I was working on the interior, the humidity and everything got to me, because I know in a water fast you're supposed to keep it easy, take it easy, not do a whole lot of strenuous exercise or things like that. And so I was taking my time with it. I was going slow, and I was trimming the floor mats for my car, and the heat and everything else, all of a sudden I had to rush to the restroom because I got hit with a pang. And when I went to the restroom, I was in a bad way. I was kind of in an overheated state. I know also, here's another caveat or warning, I know because I've done a lot of ultras, and I know what my body feels like under certain stresses and conditions, and this was similar to when I was getting close to a heat exhaustion or a heat stroke in races that I'd done in the past. And so so I got off the restroom, went into the shower, and kind of cooled down. Not fully cold. I didn't want to shock the system, but I wanted to gradually get that core temperature back down, cool off, and got cooled off, rested for a little while, and kind of finished out the day. The family arrived at home, and they were hungry because they had not had dinner yet, so we decided to go to, at first I thought we were going to the diner, which would be easy. I was like, well, I'll break the fast, but I'll stay in ketosis and shy away from all the carbs, which you should do anyway when you're ending a water fast, is because your body has not been used to the glycogen sort of stores anymore, and so you are you're kind of at a disadvantage when it comes to digesting those sort of things like starches, potatoes, things of that nature. So I basically said, okay, well, I can kind of keep this ketosis going a little bit and stay in that mode, and still eat with the fam. Number two, a second reason why I came to a stop, first was because my family, and I had done this while going to work, and it hadn't been too hard, but I have a very unstrenuous, sedentary sort of job. I have to choose to get up and move a lot of times to get steps in or things like that at work, and so that had been all right, but then the second reason was, yes, because I had the episode that morning, and then thirdly, I had actually gotten an answer to some spiritual things that were on my heart I had been praying and seeking and looking about things, about what God was wanting to do in and around. And a lot of times you fast seeking guidance or seeking answers, and I don't know if it's the answer yet, but it's a good start towards one. And so I got a contact from someone that I had been talking to about concerning a ministry role, and it may be time to dust off those abilities once again and get out there in a more direct way in service. And so anyway, that's about it. I'm guessing some of you probably want to know the stats. Well, once again, remember all of my caveats beforehand. Results will vary depending on who you are, depending on what your health contraindications are and things of that nature. But in the course of 4 days, the evening before I started, I weighed in at 325 pounds, and that was kind of like the alarm went off for me that I got to do something. I got to mix it up, change it up. I got to do something different because I'm not getting there. And I knew, you can never out exercise a bad diet and that sort of thing. And I knew a lot of the stuff because I've been down this path before, but I just had too many things chemically inside just bombarding to where it was fighting against the psychological, and I just needed a rip the band-aid off quick change. So I did that, and so I started at 325. Yesterday morning, like before I had my episode, I had weighed in at 308.8. So nearly 17 pounds within 3.5 days were dropped. That also indicates that I had a lot to lose because, one, that was either mostly water weight from glucose and things of that nature, and two, a little bit of that might have been fat as we started going, because I could tell that I had moved into ketosis or a ketogenic state towards the end of that, not at the beginning. And so with those things combined, after I had my little episode out here and such, I weighed again because I was just curious how much more water I dropped, because I was kind of like this. I was profusely sweating the entire time I was trying to clean the car as soon as I got going good, and I had chalked it up to the humidity level, even though it was still in the morning and rather cool. But I went in and weighed again, and it was 304.4. So that would bring the total weight loss over 4 days to just over 20 pounds. Now, I know that most of that was sweat losses and water losses, but generally from what I've read and seen is that you can expect about 10 pounds to come back onto you. But the main thing for me was getting past the overabundance, the sort of insulin resistance that had been developed in my body, and just the way that it was reacting to the different things, and that I just wasn't getting there, y'all. I'm kind of contemplating, because I handled about the first 24 to 36 hours quite well. I'm actually contemplating getting on an alternate day fasting, where every other day or so I'm going into a fasted state to try and get the rest of this weight down off of me in a way that's not saying, oh, you can only eat this, or oh, you can only eat that. I can handle just saying, you know what, today we're not eating, okay, and move on, and then try to do healthy choices on the days that I do eat, not binging and such. And I think I've set a good framework for that. So anyway, I just wanted to let y'all know. I don't keep secrets too terribly long, I guess. So till next time.